Gbarain-Ekpetiama cluster in Bayelsa wants its global memorandum of understanding with Shell Petroleum Development Company to capture environmental problems plaguing their communities. They made their position known at the meeting convened by the Group Stakeholders Alliance for Corporate Accountability and attended by the Irish ambassador to Nigeria. TVC News' Veteme George has more.
Gas flaring into the atmosphere indicates the location of the SPDC Integrated Oil and Gas Gathering Project in Obuna, in proximity to other communities that make up the Gbarain-Ekpetiama cluster.
The company to send their managers here.
The Stakeholders Alliance for Corporate Accountability is concerned about the contents and implementation of SPDC's Global Memorandum of Understanding with the host communities.
If there is degradation of any kind, you will know how to manage it, but that is not contained in the Global Memorandum of Understanding. Therefore, it is an imperfect agreement. Best practice with regards to the GMOU would mean that you include an environmental aspect to the general Global Memorandum of Understanding.
In Peru, in Canada, Papua New Guinea, where the GMOUs have been operational, they've adapted it to the context where they are. And what the oil companies in Nigeria have done is to adapt it. But we also see that the implementation had a lot of question marks, and that is the area we think they need to look at.
The 11 host communities insist that the GMOU should address environmental concerns.
Recent studies indicated that the air is polluted, the land is polluted, the water is polluted, even reports from Shell. But those things, we don't have the power to force Shell to come and do this. And in spite of that, there is no drinking water for the two clans. Even the water project they started, they cannot complete it. Starting another GMOU process, if these environmental issues are not factored, that means for the next 5 years, the people will suffer the same thing.
They essentially compromise with a few anti-community elements and siphon the entire GMOU money to further their private nests. That's what we've been experiencing. So if you go around the Gbarain-Ekpetiama cluster, where we've had over 10 years of this GMOU experience with billions of naira being spent, there is no evidence whatsoever.
I believe in any democracy, people should be able to express what is concerning them and to take that to the proper channels so that this can be processed.
Veteme George, TVC News Obuna, Bayelsa State.